Dealerships don't want you doing this. One Japanese fuel trick, illegal in some states, keeps GMC injectors clean for 300,000 miles. Here's how it works. Why your GMC injectors are dying. Before I show you the Japanese method, you need to understand why GMC injectors fail in the first place. Modern GMC engines, the 5.3-liter, 6.2-liter, and 2.7-liter turbo, all use gasoline direct injection. GDI technology sprays fuel directly into the combustion chamber at extreme pressures. We're talking 2,000 to 3,000 psi. That's not a typo. 2,000 pounds per square inch. This creates a problem that older port injection engines never had. In a traditional port injection system, fuel sprays onto the back of the intake valves before entering the combustion chamber. That fuel acts as a natural cleaning agent, washing away carbon deposits with every combustion cycle. Direct injection bypasses the intake valves entirely. Fuel goes straight into the cylinder, so nothing is cleaning those valves. Nothing is washing away the carbon buildup. Over time, deposits accumulate on the intake valves, inside the injector nozzles, throughout the combustion chamber. By 60,000 miles, most GDI engines have measurable carbon buildup. By 100,000 miles, that buildup is causing real problems: rough idle, hesitation, misfires, reduced fuel economy. Your fuel injectors are precision instruments. The spray holes are smaller than a human hair. When carbon deposits clog those holes, the spray pattern changes. Instead of a fine mist, you get uneven streams. Fuel doesn't atomize properly. Combustion becomes inefficient. That's when the check engine light comes on. That's when you start feeling the hesitation. The standard American solution? Wait until there's a problem, then throw money at it. Fuel injector cleaning service at a dealer runs $300 to $500. Walnut blasting to remove carbon from intake valves costs $500 to $800. And if your injectors are damaged beyond cleaning, replacement runs $800 to $1,500 for a full set. Most GMC owners go through this cycle every 80 to 100,000 miles. Clean, pay, repeat. But Japanese owners don't. In Japan, vehicles regularly hit 300,000 miles. That's 500,000 kilometers, with original fuel injectors still functioning perfectly. Same GDI technology, same direct injection engines, completely different results. The difference isn't the hardware, it's the maintenance philosophy. American owners react to problems. Japanese owners prevent them. And the method they use costs less than what most Americans spend on coffee in a month. The Japanese method explained. Here's what Japanese mechanics have been doing for decades and why it works so well. The method has 3 components. All 3 matter. Component 1, fuel quality. In Japan, all gasoline must meet strict JIS standards, Japanese industrial standards. Sulfur content is limited to 10 parts per million. Compare that to American fuel, which until recently allowed up to 30 parts per million, and some states still have no limits at all. Low sulfur matters because sulfur creates deposits. It's one of the primary contributors to carbon buildup in direct injection engines. Japanese fuel creates less buildup from the start, but here's what you can do in America. Use only top-tier gasoline. Top tier is a fuel standard developed by automakers, including GM, that requires higher detergent levels than the EPA minimum. Stations that meet top tier standards include Chevron, Shell, Costco, Exxon, and Mobil. A study by ADA found that engines running non-top tier fuel accumulated 19 times more carbon deposits than engines running top tier fuel. 19 times in just 4,000 miles. Using top tier fuel is the foundation of the Japanese method. Without it, nothing else matters. Component 2. PEA-based fuel additives at specific intervals. PEA stands for polyethyramine. It's the only fuel additive scientifically proven to remove carbon deposits from direct injection engines. Not reduce. Remove. Japanese mechanics add a PEA-based cleaner every 5,000 miles. Not when there's a problem, but as preventive maintenance. The same way you change oil before it breaks down, you clean injectors before deposits accumulate. The key is consistency. One treatment when you notice a problem does almost nothing. Regular treatments before problems develop keeps injectors pristine. The best PEA-based cleaners available in America are Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus, Gumout Regane High Mileage, and Redline SI1. A single bottle costs $8 to $15 and treats 1 full tank. At 5,000-mile intervals, that's roughly $12 to $15 per oil change. That's it. Component 3, the redline flush. This is the part that makes some people nervous, and why I called it illegal in some states in the title. Once every 10,000 miles, Japanese mechanics recommend running the engine at high RPM for an extended period. We're talking sustained driving at 4,000 to 5,000 RPM for 15 to 20 minutes. This extreme heat helps burn off carbon deposits that even PEA treatments can't fully dissolve. Now, here's the illegal part. In some states, with strict emissions testing and noise ordinances, sustained high RPM driving on public roads could technically get you a ticket. California's vehicle code prohibits excessive acceleration in certain zones. Some HOAs have noise restrictions. Is anyone actually getting arrested for revving their truck? No, but technically, in certain jurisdictions, you could be cited. The workaround? Highway on-ramps, mountain roads, track days if you have access. Any situation where sustained high RPM is natural and legal. That's the complete Japanese method. Top-tier fuel, PEA additives every 5,000 miles. Redline flush every 10,000 miles. Total annual cost? Roughly $60 to $90 per year. Compare that to $500 or more for a single cleaning service at a dealer. Why dealerships hate this? Let me be blunt about why your GMC dealer will never tell you this. Fuel system cleaning is one of the highest margin services at any dealership. The chemicals cost $20 to $30. The labor takes 15 minutes. They charge $300 to $500. That's a profit margin of over 90%. When a customer comes in for an oil change, the service advisor's job is to upsell. Fuel system cleaning is one of the easiest upsells because the symptoms are vague and scary. Your truck is showing signs of carbon buildup. If we don't address it now, you could be looking at injector replacement down the road. Fear sells. And fuel system services are sold through fear. If every GMC owner started using the Japanese method, top-tier fuel, and $15 of PEA cleaner every oil change, dealership service revenue would collapse overnight. The fuel additive industry has a different problem with this method. Walk into any auto parts store and you'll see 50 different fuel additives promising to clean your injectors. Most of them don't contain PEA. They use cheaper petroleum-based solvents that temporarily mask symptoms without actually removing deposits. These products rely on customers not understanding the chemistry. They see fuel injector cleaner on the label and assume it works. It doesn't, at least not like PEA does. The Japanese method cuts through all of this. Use top-tier fuel. Add a proven PEA cleaner every 5,000 miles. Do a redline flush periodically. That's it. No magic formulas, no expensive services, no proprietary treatments that only dealers can provide. The information has been available for decades. Japanese manufacturers have published maintenance guidelines recommending exactly this approach. Toyota, Honda, Mazda, they all suggest fuel system maintenance in their owner's manuals. American manufacturers, they tell you the fuel system is maintenance-free. That's not because American engines are better. It's because American manufacturers profit from repairs. They'd rather sell you a fuel system cleaning at 100,000 miles than teach you how to prevent the problem for $60 a year. This is the reality of the automotive industry. Prevention doesn't generate revenue. Repairs do. The Japanese method flips that equation. You spend a little consistently to avoid spending a lot eventually, and the results speak for themselves. Japanese domestic market vehicles regularly exceed 300,000 miles with original fuel systems intact. American vehicles following manufacturer recommendations rarely make it to 150,000 without intervention. Same technology, different philosophy, completely different outcomes. Quick thing, if this is changing how you think about GMC maintenance, hit subscribe. I put out videos every week showing GMC owners how to save thousands on repairs. The exact protocol for your GMC. Let me break down exactly how to implement this on your specific GMC engine. For the 5.3-liter and 6.2-liter V8 engines with active fuel management or dynamic fuel management. These engines are especially vulnerable to carbon buildup because of the cylinder deactivation system. When cylinders shut off under light load, they're not getting the cleaning benefit of combustion. Carbon accumulates faster on the deactivated cylinders. For these engines, I recommend PEA treatment every 4,000 miles instead of 5,000. The AFM/DFM system creates additional buildup that requires more frequent cleaning. Use 1 full bottle of Techron Concentrate Plus or Gumout Regane with every other oil change. On the alternate oil changes, you can use a half dose as maintenance. For the redline flush, these engines benefit from towing mode. If your Sierra or Yukon has a tow/haul button, activate it during your highway flush. This keeps the transmission in lower gears and the RPMs higher without you having to fight the computer. For the 2.7-liter TurboMax 4-cylinder, this engine runs extremely high combustion pressures due to the turbocharger. That creates more carbon faster. The turbo also introduces additional oil vapor into the intake, compounding the problem. For the TurboMax, I recommend PEA treatment every 3,000 to 4,000 miles. This is a high-strung engine that needs more frequent attention. The redline flush is especially important here. Turbocharged engines generate extreme heat, and that heat is your friend when it comes to burning off deposits. Once a month, get the engine fully up to temperature, then do 10 to 15 minutes of spirited highway driving. For the 3.0-liter Duramax diesel engines don't have the same carbon buildup issues as gasoline direct injection. However, they have their own challenges, primarily with the diesel particulate filter and fuel injector tips. For the Duramax, skip the PEA cleaners. They're designed for gasoline. Instead, use a diesel-specific additive like Hot Shot's Secret or Stanodyne Performance Formula every fill-up. The key for diesels is preventing fuel gelling in cold weather and keeping injector tips clean. A good diesel additive does both. Regardless of engine, always use top-tier fuel. This is non-negotiable. The base fuel quality matters more than any additive you can buy. If your GMC already has high miles and you've never done any fuel system maintenance, start with a double dose of PEA cleaner. Run 2 bottles through consecutive tanks to begin dissolving existing deposits, then drop to the regular maintenance schedule. You won't notice dramatic results immediately. This is preventive maintenance, not a miracle cure. But at 200,000 miles, when your injectors are still functioning perfectly while everyone else is paying for replacements, you'll understand the value, what the science actually says. I want to address the skeptics because I know some of you are thinking this sounds too simple. The science is clear. PEA works. This isn't marketing, it's chemistry. In 2016, the Society of Automotive Engineers published a study examining fuel additive effectiveness on direct injection engines. They tested multiple additive chemistries against carbon deposits under controlled conditions. The results were decisive. PEA-based additives removed 60 to 70% of existing deposits over a 2,000-mile test cycle. Non-PEA additives, the cheap stuff at the auto parts store, removed essentially nothing. The study also found that continuous use of PEA prevented new deposit formation almost entirely. Engines running PEA additives from new showed minimal carbon buildup even after extended testing. This is why I'm specific about which products to use. Not all fuel injector cleaners contain PEA. Many use polyisobutylene amine, PIBA, which is cheaper but far less effective on direct injection systems. Check the label. If it doesn't specifically list polyethyramine or PEA, it's not going to deliver the same results. A AAS fuel quality study reinforces this. Their testing showed that top-tier fuels, which contain higher levels of detergent additives including PEA, dramatically reduced carbon buildup compared to non-top-tier fuels. The EPA minimum detergent requirement is half of what top-tier mandates. Half. That gap is why some engines develop deposits while others stay clean. Now, what about the redline flush? Is there science behind running your engine hard? Yes, but it's more complex. High RPM operation increases exhaust gas temperature significantly. At 4,000 RPM under load, exhaust temperatures can exceed 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. At those temperatures, carbon deposits begin to oxidize, essentially burning off. This is why vehicles that only see city driving accumulate deposits faster than highway vehicles. It's not just the short trips and incomplete warm-up cycles. It's the lack of sustained high-temperature operation that would naturally clean the combustion chamber. The Italian tune-up, driving the car hard periodically, has been mechanic wisdom for generations. The Japanese method simply formalizes it into a maintenance schedule. The combination of all three elements, fuel quality, chemical cleaning, and thermal cleaning, addresses deposit formation from multiple angles. That's why the method works so well, and why partial implementation doesn't deliver the same results. Real costs: Japanese method versus American method. Let's do the math over 100,000 miles. The Japanese method, top-tier fuel premium, roughly 3 to 5 cents more per gallon than cheap gas. For a GMC averaging 15 miles per gallon, that's $20 to $35 per year in extra fuel cost. PEA additive every 5,000 miles, $12 to $15 per treatment, 20 treatments over 100,000 miles. That's $240 to $300 total. Redline flush, free. You're just driving your truck. Total cost over 100,000 miles, roughly $400 to $500. The American wait until it breaks method, fuel system cleaning at dealer, $300 to $500. Most GDI engines need this every 40 to 50,000 miles. That's 2 to 3 services over 100,000 miles. $600 to $1,500. Walnut blasting for intake valve carbon, $500 to $800 if deposits become severe. Many GDI owners need this once by 100,000 miles. Potential injector replacement. If deposits damage the injectors beyond cleaning, you're looking at $800 to $1,500 for a set. Total cost over 100,000 miles, $1,100 to $3,800. The savings are obvious. $400 to $500 versus $1,100 to $3,800. And that's assuming nothing catastrophic happens. But here's what the math doesn't capture: reliability. The GMC owner using the Japanese method never experiences the hesitation, the rough idle, the check engine lights that come with carbon buildup. They never have the anxiety of wondering if their fuel system is failing. They never sit in a dealer waiting room being told they need $1,000 of work done. That peace of mind is worth more than the dollar savings. And at 300,000 miles, when most American trucks have been through multiple fuel system services or are headed to the junkyard, the Japanese method truck is still running on original injectors. The math gets even more dramatic at high mileage. The longer you drive, the more the Japanese method saves. That's the Japanese fuel trick that keeps GMC injectors clean for 300,000 miles. Top-tier fuel, every tank, no exceptions. PEA-based additives every 5,000 miles. And a redline flush once a month to burn off what chemistry can't dissolve. It's not complicated, it's not expensive, it's just consistent. The reason most GMC owners don't do this isn't because the information is secret. It's because they've been trained to react to problems instead of preventing them. They wait for the check engine light. They wait for the rough idle. Then, they pay the dealer to fix what could have been avoided. Japanese mechanics figured this out decades ago. Now you know it too. If you want to learn more about protecting your GMC, watch my video on the 15 habits that'll get your truck to 500,000 miles. And if you're wondering which fuel injector cleaners to avoid, check out my video exposing the 7 cleaners that actually damage your engine. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.